Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategy Advantage. And I want to welcome you to today's presentation, which I have entitled, How Can I Manage This Inflation? I read a recent article by Dave Ramsey, the CEO of Ramsey Financial Solutions, who I'm sure you've heard of at some point. And he talked in this article about the correlation between rising inflation and our stress levels. Now, I know many of you are facing the same types of challenges on both a personal and business level, and those same challenges included prices rising, and probably so is your stress level. Yes, particularly if you're farming a lot of ground, you're seeing it on the fertilizer side, fuel, labor. We're all getting it on the fuel side, of course. Labor costs and commodities are just going through the roof. And as a generality, that going through the roof just pretty well describes everything right now. And then all of a sudden, the article, he made my day. He said the same thing that I have said for the last 24 years, that there is more anxiety from the unknown than from the actual bad news. So I would propose a question for you. What's the solution? The solution is this: write it down. Write it down, and it'll not have the same power over you as if you were in the unknown. Do a budget, do a complete detailed budget, and look at everything. And the point is, regardless of how ugly it looks, you will at least get a better grasp on reality. And in summary, I'm so thankful for his comments, because as you've heard me speak many times before and share with you, the power of if we measure something, we can understand it. We understand it, we can start to control it. And of course, if we can control it, then naturally we can improve it. And that's what Dave Ramsey made. It was an excellent point that he made. If you have a clearer understanding of what's going on in your budget, and how else would you know it but to do one, of course. If you know your budget position, you know the pluses and minuses, overall your life will be less stressful. Will your stress totally go away? Of course not. None of us have that happen. I don't either. However, if you're losing money every month, you must make some changes. And I'd also like to talk about that. My business coach, Dan Sullivan of The Strategic Coach, says the following, and I quote, "All progress begins with telling the truth." End of quote. What's he saying here? I think what he's saying is, number one, we need to know the facts. What are your pluses? What are your minuses? Where do you need to make improvement? Number two, we need to develop a plan to overcome those challenges, because we all have some weak spots and some cost areas that we need to improve on. And how else can we move ahead but to do so? Point number three, identify the obstacles, the things that are holding you back. Maybe it's an inefficient facility or something like that that's holding you back on the labor front. So next, step number four, choose your course of action. Figure out, how can we economically do changes that we need to make? Are there changes we can make? And don't just throw your hands up in the air in futility and say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Because there probably is, to some extent. Every operation is different, but there is always room for improvement in all our businesses. And point number five, once you put this course of action to paper, compare it with your budget and incorporated it into that budget going forward, implement it. Take action. Because remember, the definition of insanity, you remember what that is? It's doing things the same exact way and expecting different results. That is a definition of insanity. Dave Ramsey's co-author on a recent book they came out with, John Deloney, is another author who he said that you need to connect with others for perspective. And Dave Ramsey went on to say, and I quote, "When you control the controllables, that's when hope starts coming back." End of quote. I think that's true in your business budget and your personal budget. And so what will happen? You'll identify some financial solutions. As you go through this process, you'll be able to refine things as needed, and you'll continue to improve. And what's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. That's the objective we're trying to get to, particularly at Success Strategies, and I will see you at the finish line as a point of victory. Again, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and I want to thank you for listening today. Thank you very much.